Hi, ladies and they thems. I was gonna lean closer into the camera to so you could hear me, but then I remembered I'm recording my voice here. So I got my hair done. I'm gonna take it down because it's hurting my head real bad. Oh god, hair reveal, everyone. Oh, I think I left a ponytail holder in there. So this took about 7.5 hours, period. Period. The longest I've ever been at my hair lady's house was 10 and a half, 11 hours. And it was around this time last year. It was in November of last year, right before the incident. Who remembers the incident? So I got goddess braids again. The only difference is that they're a lot bigger than they were last time, because last time I got them was right before my junior year in high school. And they were much smaller, but it took that one took about 8 hours. But these are longer and thicker. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like she added more hair to each braid, the curly hair that's coming out of the braid. I don't know. But anyway, hi. So, where do we start? All right. I'm going to MEPS tomorrow. Who's excited? Me, kind of. I don't know. I don't even feel any way about it right now. It was weird. I feel like I was really anxious about it a week ago. And now I'm relaxing. I'm fine. I don't know. I think I've calmed my nerves because I think I'm not... I think that I just rationalized all of my fears where I'm I was on Reddit again. I'm so annoying. I'm so annoying about Reddit, but I'm that's where I want to go. That's where I want to go, is to Reddit. I want to go to there. I don't know. No, Reddit is where I go when I want to ask a question and I want a real person to respond to me and not Google. No. I don't want to, because Google didn't, you know what I'm saying? I want a real person to respond and be hey, this just happened to me and this was my experience. So that's why I go to Reddit and I'm hey, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? So I went to Reddit again and I reworded my question, but I found a part of Reddit where you could ask an Army recruiter, and it's why did that literally not go into my mouth at all? Okay. It's kind of stupid that I'm oh yeah, I can ask a recruiter because I have my own recruiter. But my recruiter didn't even tell me that. I don't know. I'm not even going to get into it. It's nothing crazy. The only thing I've been talking about recently is my military enlistment, and I need to get off that topic. All I know, I'm going to MEPS, and I'm also not, I'll say this really quick, I'm no longer worried about my score on the ASVAB. I'm taking that tomorrow. So the plan is I leave tomorrow morning, go to Jacksonville, take the ASVAB, and then Wednesday, which is the next day, obviously, is when I do my physical and the medical portion of it all. So I'm not worried about the ASVAB, to be honest. I studied some stuff and I really do think that I gathered, burping. I drink a Dr. Pepper and I drink it so fast. Mind you, this fresh out of the fridge, real cold, real crisp and carbonated. And I'm why am I burping so much? Are you stupid? I'm whatever. But but I'm not worried about the ASVAB. I studied enough where I think that I've gathered enough information that I feel I might do pretty good on the mechanical part of it all. And I don't know. I really do want to be a mechanic. And that's not me just saying that. There are so many options. And I know that I've said this a billion times because all that I've been talking about recently has been my enlistment. But it's the biggest part of my life right now. So it makes sense that I'm talking about it a lot. But there are so many options for what I could potentially pursue in the Army and in all of the military. And then on top of that, I can change MOSs. Once I'm in, I could decide something else and it's like a college where you can choose your major, but then you can change that. And I don't know, it's just, there's so much. So I'm I don't know, that's so much. So I'm I kind of have my mindset on being a mechanic because I like the hands-on portion of it all. And it's also something that I don't know anything about, which I know sounds stupid, but I really want to. Does that make sense? I want to go into the Army and be guys, I don't know anything about mechanics, but let me be a mechanic and I will learn so fast. Like, not even if I don't learn fast, just let me like learn. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I want to take that opportunity to like learn it. I don't know why I'm talking so fast. Like, I'm crazy right now. But I'm like, maybe I am nervous about MEPS and I'm like, I'm not actually feeling it, but like my behavior is probably a little sporadic right now. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I don't know. I just want to get in there and be like, y'all, trust me. I can learn to be a mechanic if you just give me the tool. Like, I got this, you know? And then it's also something that's good, that's like transferable when I do get out. So then I can like, I joked with my grandparents, I'm going to open my own mechanic shop. And it's like, cool. I could like literally do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. There's that. But then there's also like, I still want to do something like humanitarian aid related where it's like, I want to help people. Dr. Oz, like the Wizard of Oz, like the wizard. Can I say something? Oh my God. Speaking of wizard, and because I watched Wicked with my best friend, first of all, cried. So we held hands when they started doing that For Good song. I don't know the songs, like, for real. But when they started singing For Good at the end, I grabbed my best friend's hand and we held hands and we cried crazy. I was sniffing every 2 seconds. And it was also funny, something I noticed that I like really thought was cute about just like humans in general, was that during any quiet moment of the song or like whatever, you could hear sniffles from like different parts of the theater, because it wasn't like packed, but it definitely wasn't an empty theater. Like, there was definitely people. So it was like, I thought that was really cute. But the movie was good. Jonathan Bailey is so sexy, hot, and beautiful. And also, I didn't expect him and Elphaba to get all freaky like that. I was like, oh my God. This is it. Like, stop. Oh my God. Like, things were happening. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expect it to get all freaky deaky like that. Because I'm like, Elphaba, why are you in that little cardigan and your little lingerie? Elphaba? No, what? I don't know. But I did think it was interesting. And I guess spoilers, like, I don't know. Y'all should just go watch the movie. There's a lot. You know what? Let me just talk about Wicked real quick. Because for context, when I was growing up, I remember way back in the day when I was like a little baby, I was like this small, little tiny little baby, fresh out the cooch. I remember basically when The Wizard of Oz would come on TV once a year. Am I Unk status? Oh my God, I might be Unk status. But I remember when it would come on once a year, and it was my favorite movie ever. It was my favorite for the longest time, probably up until I was probably like, I don't know, 13. I considered The Wizard of Oz my favorite movie ever. Not Kill Bill, not the one I have tattooed on my body, but The Wizard of Oz, it was always my favorite. Like, I was Dorothy one year for Halloween. I almost said for Christmas, but I was Dorothy. So it's like, I love The Wizard of Oz, like, down, like, bad. So, but then I've never been into musicals, and I know that The Wizard of Oz is a musical. I know that I was in theater, whatever, but I'm just saying, like, growing up watching musicals was not really ever my vibe unless it was The Wizard of Oz and like Teen Beach Movie. I didn't even like, can I say this? I never even liked High School Musical. What? I never got into High School Musical. Stop. So I didn't get into musicals until I joined theater, and everybody's like, oh yeah, do you guys know about Hamilton? And I'm like, the guy on the $20 bill, like, I don't know who that is. Like, I know who it is, but I'm just saying, like, I don't get what you're saying. And everybody is like singing all these show tunes, and I'm like, what? I didn't come again. Like, I didn't know anything about anything. So I kind of get into musicals a little bit more. I like saw Chicago like live, like it was a high school performance, but it was really good. I saw a live performance of Chicago. I saw Little Shop live at like it was a SCAD performance. That was fire. But it's like, see, with Little Shop, I had seen the movie when I was little. Shop of Horrors. So I don't know. But anyway, growing up, I loved The Wizard of Oz, real crazy style. And I even used to have a Wizard of Oz like blanket. And that wasn't like when I was little, that was like up until recently. I think I donated it. But anyway, but I never knew that Wicked was a thing. I didn't know anything about Wicked until I probably heard about it probably like my junior year of high school when I joined theater. I had never heard of Wicked. Now I know what's her name? Kristen, is it Chenoweth or what's her name? She plays, like, I don't know. But anyway, does she play Linda or is she Elphaba? Is Elphaba black on stage? Like, on the stage musical. Like, I know she's green, but I'm saying the girl who plays her, is she black too or no? Because it's not Cynthia Erivo. Whatever. I don't know anything. But, so, I didn't know anything about Wicked. And then, I'm trying to think. So, I had never seen the stage play, like, musical. So then my best friend, a year ago, when the other movie came out, she was like, you want to go see it? I was like, sure, of course, like, you know. And I was like, oh, it all started to, like, make sense. Like, some of it, okay, no. I just lied. When I watched Wicked, I didn't really understand how it tied into The Wizard of Oz. Does that make sense? I was like, I understood, I knew Glinda and Elphaba, duh, like, I got that. But I was still confused. I'm like, who is Fiyero? And I'm like, who is, like, the guy, who's Ethan Slater? SpongeBob? Like, what? Is that his name, Ethan Slater? Yeah, he's that corny little white guy, that be smirking. He played SpongeBob. But I'm like, who are these people? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't get it. I'm like, okay, I know, like, Munchkins, obviously, but I'm like, where's the Tin Man? Obviously, spoiler alert, it's Ethan Slater. What's his name? His name is Ethan Slater, but I'm saying, like, what is the guy's name in the movie? Not Fiyero. I'm talking about, oh my God, it's like, mind you, I just watched the movie. I should literally know his name. The Tin Man. Oh, it's, no, me lying. It's, cause it's Nessa's, like, little situationship or whatever they had going on. But what's his freaking name, y'all? Am I tweaking? Whatever. It'll hit me later. So I'm like, he's the Tin Man, cool. And then I'm like, where's the Scarecrow? I don't understand it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand the first Wicked very well, but the second Wicked, I was like, oh, like, yes, this makes sense. The second Wicked, first of all, Nessa, like, being an ICE agent, what? What do you mean the Munchkins are being deported? You people are so annoying. I'm like, okay, I'll get into that in a second, but oh my God. But I really liked the second Wicked, and, like, I hated, like, okay, Glinda, sorry, I, like, didn't like her, just because she didn't do what she really should have done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just gonna let your best friend die because you have to protect your own image of, like, being the good witch, and then they're like, oh, did you know her? And she's like, yeah, we crossed paths. Shut up, you and your stupid bubble, like, back up, whatever. But it was just, like, the whole thing was weird. And then Nessa, so annoying, by the way. I hated seeing her. Oh, my God. The Tin Man annoying, too. Everybody annoying. Everybody in that movie is genuinely annoying except for Elphaba. I'm not kidding. Even Fiyero was making me mad. Well, Fiyero, relax. I know you're sexy, even when you're a scarecrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? But come on. Like, everybody in that movie, genuinely, I hated. And also, what's her name? Madame Morrible. The whole time, up until, like, multiple days after having watched the movie, I thought it was Madame Marble. Like a little ball. I thought she's a marble. I thought that's what we're saying is marble. Am I stupid? I thought it's Madame Marble. And also, can I say something? Is this like I don't know if I really liked her. Like, obviously I hated the character, but I don't really know if I liked the actress doing come on, I don't have any room to say anything about that, because it's like, girl, I can't even sing or dance or act. Like, I can't do none of that. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in a movie. But, I don't know. They could have cast somebody a little different. I don't know. I'm not gonna say nothing crazy. But, like, she was annoying, obviously. And then Jeff Goldblum. I'm so annoying about Jeff Goldblum. I'm not kidding. I was like, as annoying as he is, like, as the wizard, when's he coming back on screen? I love Jeff Goldblum. I posted a TikTok that was like, Jeff Goldblum, he's my oldest, like, hear me out. He's old. He's 73. And Danny DeVito was, like, 80-something, by the way. I found that out recently. He's not even in the movie. I don't know why I'm mentioning this. But he's, like, 80-something. But I guess that makes sense. He's been famous for, like, forever. But Jeff Goldblum, hi. If you ever need a controversially young girlfriend, I'm right here. Like, Mind you, this man is old enough to be my great grandfather. I need to relax. I do. My ear itches crazy style. But I'm like, Jeff Goldblum, I love you bad. But, and he's also really funny as the wizard. I know that he's so annoying as the wizard, but he's really funny. Oh, and then I'll say this too at the end when it was, okay, spoiler. Don't listen if you don't want to hear a Wicked for Good spoiler. I'm giving you time to leave, genuinely. Because I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I don't care that you... No. Listen, Jeff Goldblum being... And I'm calling him, like, by literally his real name. The wizard being Elphaba's dad. That was a spoiler. When that came out, when that was, like, revealed at the end, I thought that they were going to say that Madame Marble... Not Marble. Madame Marble. I thought that they were going to say that they're both her parents. That's what I was thinking. Because I was like, okay, I get it that that's Elphaba's dad. But is Madame Marble her mom too? That's what at first I thought. I was like, oh my God, that'd be crazy. But that's not true. It's just that Jeff Goldblum is Cynthia Erivo's dad. Like, that's it. I'm sorry, y'all. I cannot stop burping. It's crazy. But yeah, so that was crazy. But it's like, he didn't know. I mean, I guess he didn't know because it's like a one-time stand, like, I don't know, or a one-night stand, like, I don't know. But that was interesting. But I just hated that nobody understood Elphaba. Like, genuinely, that, like, made me so mad because I'm like, when Nessa did her in her fucking wheelchair and those ugly shoes, I hated her. And no, I'm not being ableist. I'm just saying, like, she was in a wheelchair and she was annoying as fuck, like, whatever. But I'm about to get canceled, y'all. I'm cooked. No, her and her reading that spell, that's what it is. Her reading the spell, right? And then she decides to, she messes up the Tin Man. She turns him into the Tin Man, right? And Elphaba is like, no, stop reading that spell because you don't know what you're doing. Like, stop, challenge. And then she continues to do it. And then the Tin Man comes up to her and is like, what happened? She's like, it wasn't me, it was Elphaba. You literally have to die. I'm not kidding. Bro, you're reading the spell out loud. Like, and honestly, even the little Ethan Slater, he's watching you do it. I can't believe I forgot his name in the fucking movie. He's watching you read the spell, and Elphaba's trying to get him to stop, and is trying to, like, reverse it and, like, fix you or whatever. She's trying to help you. And then you're going to believe that little girl talking about, and little, I don't know, but you're going to believe that girl talking about, it wasn't me, it was Elphaba? You're going to rat out your sister for something she didn't, you're going to frame your sister? First of all, crazy. Second, like, it wasn't even her. And then, what? You needed more than that house falling on you. Somebody should have dropped a bomb. Like, I can't, that's like, it's crazy. It pissed me off bad. But anyway, enough about Wicked. No, let's do some more on Wicked. Let's get into the whole eating disorder of it all, because what? Everybody's upset. Everybody's upset that Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande have competitive eating disorders. And it's like, well, yeah, a lot of people have eating disorders. And also, can I just say this? Like, a lot of the people that I feel like are posting their little think pieces or whatever about the competitive eating disorder vibe that they have going on, a lot of those people probably themselves have some sort of disordered eating, or they at least know, like, at the very least, like, 2 other people that also have eating disorders that are, like, close to them. Because as someone who has suffered before, it's like, it's easy to get. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's something where it's like, if we're going to do it as, like, we're going to refer to it as, like, a not contagious, but, like, an illness that you can contract. Anyone can get one at any point in their lives. They can recover, and they can also relapse. It's essentially an addiction at this point. When you get addicted to, whether it be too much food, eating too much food, you're addicted to eating food. Or when you get addicted to not eating food, you'll starve yourself. Like, duh. These things happen. And I'm not trying to defend Cynthia Erivo or Ariana Grande, nor am I trying to, like, bash people that are posting about it, because I think it should be talked about. It's important to like, say that these bodies that these women have, unnatural, unhealthy, and should not be promoted, obviously. Unless they, like, are genuinely sick with, like, cancer or something, which they're not. I mean, not that we know of, at least. Because it's like, everybody what bothers me is that I see people on TikTok and they're like, something really sinister is going on in Hollywood. And they post before Wicked, and it's like Ariana Grande when she was like 17, whatever. But like they'll post her before Wicked, and then they're like, her and Cynthia, they looked so healthy. And then they'll post after Wicked, and they're like, what's going on in Hollywood? Did Ozempic get everybody? And it's like, Ozempic or not, people have eating disorders. And it's like, this isn't the first time that's been a thing either. You know what I'm saying? What happened to the early 2000s, that like the Victoria's Secret model Kate Moss heroin chic cocaine skinny aesthetic? That's always been there. They were calling Britney Spears fat. She was like 115 pounds soaking wet. And that's like, she's a fat giant whale. So it's like, and it's like, mind you, it was so bad like in the early 2000s. And this is like when I was like a child. So obviously I don't know like from like living it. Well, hello. I don't know from like living it because, you know, whatever. But it's like, you could literally just like be real skinny and have like you can have just like skin on your body, and you have like your little protective pouch that protects your organs and your uterus that are like right there at your stomach. And they're going to say that you're bloated and fat and you should kill yourself. Like they're going to put you on, if it was like 2002, they're going to put you on the front of a magazine in a bathing suit saying, it looks like she had 2 bites of a salad for lunch instead of just 1. She's gigantic. We should all make fun of her. And it's like, she weighs 90 pounds already. What? So it's like, this is not the first time that these like weird, freaky, deaky, skinny ass like rhetoric has just been spewed everywhere, that like everybody has to look like this. You know what I'm saying? People literally think like Addison Rae is fat. What? You know how many people I've seen being like, I love that like Addison Rae is like kind of fat, but she like doesn't care because she's like promoting what like a normal like kind of fat body looks like. What are you talking about? I watched The Devil Wears Prada recently. Love that movie bad. Why are they making a second one, by the way? Not making. They already did. It's coming out. I'm probably going to watch it, but why? Come on, y'all. The first one was perfect. It did very well. And I saw the ad for it, and like, why are Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway like working together again? Y'all are so annoying. Like, I don't know. Y'all would just be trying to milk something. And that movie came out like 50 years ago. Like, relax. But I watched that for the first time, and they're literally calling Anne Hathaway fat. Mind you, she's the size of my pinky toe. And in that movie, they're saying that she's fat because it's like, oh, she's like, what, like a size 6, and you should be like a size -25. Like, what are we doing? But that's what I'm saying, is that it's like, that's always been a thing in the media. It's never been promoted to be anything more than anorexic. It's never been, what's the word? It's never been like glamorized to be anything more than a size 4. So when these people show up and they have eating disorders and they're suffering from what the media is telling them that they should look like, why are we shocked? And also, people can develop eating disorders not even just from the way that like the media, like maybe it isn't even about their body image. Eating disorders aren't always about a body image thing. People are resurfacing Ariana Grande, and like apparently she had like a Tumblr era when pro Anna and like everything was being out there, kind of like how ED Twitter is now, but it was like the Tumblr era when it like first started, and everybody was like pro Anna and whatever. Like, people were like resurfacing that like Ariana Grande was one of those people, and I've been seeing a lot of pictures. That picture of her like sitting in like a violin case or whatever, that being a body check, her with like sitting in her sink, because she's also, not only is she really skinny and has always been skinny, she's also like short, I'm pretty sure. So she's definitely on like the smaller side, like altogether as a person. But then there's also like the pictures of her being like, she would eat like 1 dragon fruit a day or some stupid shit, and it would be like a picture of her refrigerator, and it's like only filled with like spinach and kale and like Diet Coke or something. And it's like, it's obviously ED culture, but I'm like, I guess maybe I'm kind of used to seeing it, because I used to be real popular on ED Twitter. Not like popular, but you know what I mean? Like, I used to be in there. I used to be real active, girl, real active. way back in the day. So it's like, I guess maybe I'm just used to it because I'm used to like seeing that. And like people, I don't think that people grasp the severity of these things, where it's like people will have eating disorders that are so severe that they will die. That's not a joke. Like I said, I posted something on my spam account where I was like, to accuse Ariana Grande and or Cynthia Erivo of like having this eating disorder, as if first of all they don't know, and also to act as if they're committing a crime by this is so stupid, because either they're going to recover from said eating disorder or they're going to die because of it. There's only so many options, right? Either you recover or you end up killing yourself, because this is an eating disorder. Oh, it's like I can't believe that it's even having to be said. And then it's also like people act like they're not allowed to like show their faces anymore because of how skinny they are. And it's like, well, does that mean that, like, I don't know, nobody can post a picture if they're sick with the flu because you don't want to promote sickness? Like, people are gonna have these things. And I get the difference between like promoting it, because I will say that they do glorify it a bit. Also, when I was watching Wicked, and obviously I had been seeing the content of like people sort of complaining and like posting their little think pieces about their bodies and the whole eating disorder vibe. I had already been seeing that, so I guess my brain was kind of already thinking about it as I was watching the movie. But Ariana Grande's costumes didn't even fit her. Somehow they were too big for her. Like, I mean, not somehow, but it's like her costumes didn't fit her. A lot of them was like she would move a certain way and it would be like something low cut and it would like cave like over her because she's so skinny that it doesn't have anything to cling to. And I'm like, what's up with that? Like, I'm looking at it, and what's that song that she did while she was going, like, she was walking down the stairs? It was, like, after Elphaba, like, died, quote-unquote, like, whatever. I don't know the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, the only thing I was paying attention to was her chest, and I was like, oh, my God. Every time she turned this way, and the angle was from here, or I guess this way, I could see, like, it was just caving in. I'm like, I can see your bones. Like, your bones are stabbing through your skin. Like, it was crazy. And then I think it was in that same costume, her shoulders were out, and she had those little gems inside of her shoulders, in the caving in part of her shoulder. She had these little gems on them. I thought that was crazy. It's like, it gives body checking where it's like, you know, that whole headphone waist thing that people do, where it's like, my waist is so small that I can fit 2 pairs of headphones around my waist. Or like my collarbones, it gives the collarbone thing where it's like my collarbones are so like, they're protruding out of my neck and I look like a skeleton, so much so that I can put a bunch of quarters in my collarbone. And it's a challenge. Everybody see if you can do it. And if you can't, you're a fat, disgusting slob and you should die. Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, the way that I see an eating disorder as someone who used to suffer from one is just an illness. You're sick. Like, you are sick up here, but also, like, your body is sick. Like, you're just decaying in front of us. Like, your body is, like, declining. Like, I would literally see people on ED Twitter being like, oh my God, got up to use the bathroom and I passed out. And it's like, yeah, because you haven't eaten in 2 whole weeks. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then also on top of that, like I will say this, if you're on the heavier side, your body technically, this is not me promoting anything, but technically your body could survive for like a couple more days than the average person without eating. And again, I'm not promoting anything. I'm just saying, like, if you take me versus Ariana Grande, I could go 3 days without eating if I really had to. Genuinely, just because I have more meat on my bones. I'm almost 200 pounds. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have more, where if my body were to start, like, really trying to, like, starve, I would like sort of like last longer. Like that sounds crazy to say, but I'm just saying I would like last longer, and like I probably wouldn't pass out if I didn't eat for 3 days. But somebody like Ariana Grande, her body doesn't have anything to like eat on. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody, I saw like a thing that was like she like got diagnosed with COVID, and somebody was like that virus isn't gonna have anything to eat on. It's gonna starve, because it's like you don't have anything on you anyway. So you. You literally can't get up and go to the bathroom without passing out because you haven't eaten food in a month. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen people do these crazy challenges of, and don't get me wrong, I've tried them too. These challenges of like water fasting for 2 full weeks. No. And it's like, well, no, not even a protein shake. I've done a liquid diet before. My doctor one time kind of told me to do a liquid diet because of my jaw problems that I was having. So I did, and it wasn't really liquid. It was more like a soft food. So I was having like mashed potatoes and yogurt and stuff like that. But, ooh, y'all, my leg. Sorry, give me 1 sec. But I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't think that everyone should be as surprised about these eating disorders as they are. Because, again, people have them. And also what I was saying earlier is that it doesn't have to be the body image issues that are like in the media that causes people to have eating disorders. It could be like for example, Ariana Grande, when Mac Miller died, that obviously destroyed her because that was like the love of her life. So I'm sure she went weeks without eating. I can almost guarantee it. And I'm not saying that causes the eating disorder itself is like someone dying, but it could be a trigger. You know what I'm saying? Like that could be something that's like there where it's like grieving. You know, I mean, people grieve and they like completely change. You know how people like stress eat when they're unhappy and they're depressed and they just eat all the time. I've done that. And it could be the exact opposite where it's like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I never eat. Like, it's just not, I don't know. I should probably get off the topic, but crazy stuff going on. Can I also say this? Like, this is something this just popped into my head, I guess, because I'm thinking about like Hollywood or whatever. I don't understand. Okay. I guess I do understand how people say that like celebrities like sell their soul to the devil, quote unquote. But what I don't understand is like, and this is coming from someone who is an atheist. I consider myself an atheist or at least agnostic. Like, I don't know. My perspective or my, to keep it really short, my view on religion is that I appreciate the beauty of religion, all of them. I love it. I think it's beautiful, and I think everyone should have religious freedom and liberties to practice whatever the hell they want to practice. But I don't believe in it. I don't believe in religion, but it's like, I'm sure that there is a God. Duh. I think that there's something higher than us, but I don't think that he's good. I don't like him. and I feel like when I say that, I'm not trying to bash anyone's religion, obviously, but a lot of people would probably hear that and like be offended, thinking that I'm like negatively speaking on it. But it's like, it's just my opinion. Just like how your religion is your opinion. That's my opinion. And I'm not, and it's like, when I say it too, I'm not trying to like fight with people. I've never tried to like debate religion and be like, oh yeah, prove to me that God exists. I don't care. Right? Because if I don't believe he exists, why would I want you to try to prove it to me? It's not going to change my mind. You're not going to change my mind. I don't care. I am sure that he exists. I'm sure there's something out there, in here, whatever. But I don't think that he should be worshipped like everyone does. I don't think that he's good like everyone says, because there's too many, like, obviously cliche, but there's just too much evil in the world, like, whatever. And of course it's free will, but there's still, I just have so many questions, and it's like, whatever. But I don't think it's wrong to like criticize him. Do you see what I'm saying? It's very strange to me how no one is allowed to say, I can't even ask a question to some people. Of course, this doesn't apply to every like Christian or Jew or Muslim or whatever. But if I were to just say like, I don't like how God did that. I don't like how God killed my best friend in a car accident or something. That didn't happen. But I'm just saying, I don't like how God, like, I don't know, let someone shoot up a school and killed my daughter. I don't have a daughter. I'm just speaking like hypothetically, but it's like, I don't like how God did that. I could say that, just because of my personal experiences of things that I don't like about God, and I'd get like attacked. Like, I'm not saying everyone would attack me. I'm just saying that like people would see that as me hating. And it's like, no, I'm not hating. I'm just asking, like, why did he have to do that? Nobody can ever explain to me like why he has to be so evil all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's that video of that guy where he's like, I don't even know who the guy is, but it's like, he was talking about his views on religion, and he was like, somebody else asked him in an interview, was like, if you ever met God, like you die, you go to heaven, you see him, what would the first thing be that you say to him? And he was like, can you explain babies being born with cancer? Explain children, you know what I mean? Like, explain like children being bombed and dying and all that good stuff. Like, just explain it to me. Then maybe I'd see where you're coming from, but I still wouldn't like you. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. And because I got so off topic, I don't know where I was. Oh, when people say that they're selling their soul to the devil, who's the devil? I'm confused by it because it's like, I want to believe that you're right. I'm sure that like, oh, the Illuminati, the deep state or whatever it's called, and like New World Order, whatever. I don't know. Is that even the right words? Like, I don't know. But I'm sure that there is something like sinister going on, like in Hollywood or the government. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to go as far as to say that people are like reptiles or anything crazy. Like, what are you even talking about? But I know that there has to be obviously something more. But I remember questioning this in like 2020 because I think that somebody said that Charli D'Amelio, of all people, sold her soul to the devil. And that's like how she got so popular so fast. And I don't really get it because it's like, when you say the devil, do you mean a person? Because I'm like, I want to believe that you're right. Like, I want to believe that explains like why these things are happening or whatever. And like, oh, that seriously explains like the whole like Illuminati and like, oh, all celebrities like post up like this, or they like cover one eye and they do this, like whatever. I want to believe that there's something to that. But who is the devil? And I guess it's because I'm an atheist that I don't believe that these are like real beings that are like there. But I'm like, okay, here's my question. If I wanted to go and sell my soul to the devil, first of all, where would I go? Florida? Like, where's low? Like, I'm not hating on Florida. I'm literally going there tomorrow. I'm not hating on Florida. I just mean because it's like low. But I'm just saying, like, where would I go to sell my soul? And who am I going to sell it to? I understand the devil, but like, who am I going to be face to face with the same devil that you guys have in the Bible? That's what I'm not understanding. It's like, who is your devil that you're claiming that someone is selling their soul to? Because my thing is that I don't even really doubt it. Like, sure, I'm sure people have. But what do you mean by the devil? Because if by the devil you just mean like just like, oh, like the elites of like Hollywood or something, like that would make sense. But I'm like, what do they do though? If you sell your soul, like where does it go? Because you're still like a human person. So how are you selling your soul? Is it going somewhere? And then if someone has your soul, what does that even mean, first of all? Because what does your soul even look like? It's not like tangible. I have so many questions, but it's like, if someone buys my soul, for example, where does it go? And also, what do you do with it? Do you use it? Like, do you have my soul? Like, do you have it? Do you put it in you? Like, I don't understand how that works. I'm so confused all the time. Like, that is just so strange. But at the same time, like, who really knows? I've never been one to like fully say that like, oh no, that's like not possible. Or like, no, there's no way aliens exist. Bro, we don't know anything. I feel like as like a human race, we should all just acknowledge the fact that we don't know anything for real. There's some things that we know for sure, but we don't know nothing. We don't know anything ever. So I don't know. I think I've accepted the fact that I don't know nothing for real. And I feel like everything is bigger than me. Because there is so much more to like life, obviously, but I just feel like everything is just so much bigger than me that I'm like, it's like far away. Ugh, I'm not going to sell my soul to the devil because it's so far. I don't even know where the devil is. Like, ugh, can I just call him? That'd be fire. You probably have to dial like 666 or something. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I don't know. It's freaky deaky and weird. But I don't know. But I've been yapping for like a while, as I do. Oof. Girl, what else should I talk about? I'm having car problems again. Who's excited? I don't know what's wrong with it, but there's like, when I go to drive, I'll like make a turn And it typically happens when it's been idle, or not even like idle, like cranked, but when it's been like sitting like overnight or like during my work shift and it's been like 7+ hours. I'll like go to turn, and when I turn, it like hesitates. So I'm like in the driver's seat, literally like doing this. I'm like, whoa, and I'm like going back and forth. It's like weird. Like my car just goes while I'm trying to drive forward. It's like it's very strange. I thought that it was a transmission issue, but I don't know. My grandparents think it might be like a spark plug, but it could be like my fuel filter, and it could be, there's so many, that's what's so annoying about cars, is that it could be anything. But hopefully I'll be a mechanic in the Army. Shout out. I'm still kind of annoyed about the whole medical process. And I know I said I'm not going to talk about it anymore, but come on, y'all. It's like frustrating. But I mean, it's like, I just need to be patient and just find out what they tell me for real. Because I know I'm probably going to get medically disqualified, whatever. But also, I requested my medical records from the hospital, and I got them, and I got 2 giant folders that are like this thick, 2 of them. And I found out that my mom did cocaine while she was pregnant with me. So that's kind of fire. Does that explain anything about me? Like, I don't that's funny. But yeah, I found out a bunch of crap. But it's like, I remember pretty much all of the doctor visits. And honestly, the thickness of the packet, it wasn't even that crazy, just because a lot of it was like the same paper over and over. So it wasn't even like really, I wouldn't argue that I have like this like super extensive medical history, because I'm not like diagnosed with like a bunch of crazy like illnesses or anything like that. What I was gonna talk about. Can I talk for an hour? Ugh. All right. I got about 15 more minutes. I'll allow myself to talk about this really quick. My friend sent me a video that was saying that the GT classes, like gifted and talented in school, and I don't know, is that just like an American school thing? Is that like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like a stateside like type of thing. But anyway, so the gifted and talented program in school was for essentially the smarter kids. And I'm sure there's like a lot more discourse there about like separating kids based on academic, like, I don't know, there's a lot there. But she sent it to me, and it was saying that the GT classes existed because the kids that are in the gifted program were like neurodivergent. So they were separated because they had different like learning abilities or learning capabilities or whatever than the other kids. And the way that they made it seem while we were in school is that if you're in GT, it means that you're smarter than everyone. Like, that sounds like big-headed to say. I wasn't in GT, so it's not even for me, because I got tested for GT like multiple times. And I was in the classes. This is what's kind of confusing about it. I don't think I was ever actually in GT. Like, I wasn't in the gifted and talented program, but I was always in the class with the kids that were. And I was always in advanced classes, and I took some AP classes, because it's like I have the ability, but for some reason I never tested correctly for it. I don't know if that makes sense, but obviously I'm not worried about like the way that school saw me. Like, that I'm not, like, I don't care about the way that the school system perceived me. I'm out of high school. I don't mess with none of that anymore. So I don't know, but I was never actually in GT. But I think that like, maybe I am like neurotypical. Like, I don't know, because this is what I was telling my friend. I've never been tested for ADHD, autism, ADD, any type of, like, I know I don't have like dyslexia or whatever. The only thing that I've ever been in that was like different in terms of learning was I was in speech classes and in speech therapy when I was in, I want to say I don't know about kindergarten, but I know like 1st and 2nd grade I was in speech classes. And I just remembered too that when I was in 2nd grade, this is so strange, but every class had a different day that they could get on the merry-go-round. And our class day for us to get on the merry-go-round in 2nd grade was the same day that I had speech classes. So in 2nd grade, I never got to get on the freaking, because I was in speech class during recess. So I never got to get on the freaking merry-go-round. And I remember there was a couple times where I would get done with speech classes and go outside to recess when like I would have like a few more minutes left of recess, so I would like hop on the merry-go-round and I wouldn't get off until we really had to go in, because I got like a couple little minutes at the end. But anyway, I just remember that because I like a merry-go-round. But and then I think it was like third grade, because okay, at my elementary school, the like pre-K through second grade was on one playground that was like smaller, and then third through fifth graders got to go on to like the bigger playground. And that playground doesn't have like a limit about the merry-go-round, like you could just get on it whenever. So I remember that like genuinely feeling like a luxury by the time I got into third grade, because I like a merry-go-round. But I think it was like last night, I saw a picture on TikTok. This is not what I want to talk about at all. I started like reminiscing, but it was the picture of the green box, and the song was like Meet Me at Our Spot. And I'm like, y'all, that green box, for me, the green box doesn't mean like, it means a lot to me because we did use it when we would play. But for me, in elementary school, I need to do like a whole video of me just reminiscing from elementary school. But for me, the nostalgia is from the soccer field, because we played soccer sometimes, we played football sometimes, but we played this game called Mr. Fox. Insane game that it caused fights, it broke up friendships, it ruined lives. That game literally ruined lives, and it's crazy, and I should make a whole video, like I said, explaining all of it. But what I was gonna say is that I don't like the title of, like, the titles of anything, really, of, like, being labeled with, like, I'm autistic. Like, if I were to be diagnosed with autism, I wouldn't want anybody to know, because whether you like it or not, people are going to, like, assume things about you, and they're going to, like, act accordingly. And I don't even think that that's a bad thing either on either part. But I don't like the idea of, like, someone looking at me and being like, oh, you have autism? Or, oh, you have autism. Or, oh, you have autism. I don't care how you feel about it. Like, I don't have autism, but I'm just saying, like, if that were to be the case, or if I had ADHD, I don't want somebody to be like, did you take your ADHD meds today? What? Get out of my face with that. I don't like the idea of, like, being labeled by anything like that. So I'm kind of glad that I don't have any type of label, because I just continue to tell everybody that I'm, like, I don't necessarily say that I'm neurotypical, but I do say... I say the truth. I've never been diagnosed, but I've also never been tested. So I think it would be different if I got tested and I, like, tested, I don't know, negative for autism. Like, I don't know. I took that, what is it called? It was like the RADS-R test that you take online. It's like 80 questions. I took that. And of course I scored low enough to not have autism, because I don't think that I do. And I also don't know, like, I don't know if I have ADHD or ADD or whatever, or OCD. I don't know. And I don't think that it matters. If I got a diagnosis that said I had those things, nothing about me would change. They'd probably try to put me on, like, medication, but I wouldn't take it. I will say, really quick, just before I'm, like, I've got, like, 10 or 12 minutes left that I'll let myself keep talking. I would like to try, like, an Adderall just to see what happens, and then, like, try a Xanax just to see what happens. Not at the same time, not one right after the other, but just, like, in my life at some point. I made a post on my spam about that the other day, where I was like, I said that I consider myself normal, quote unquote, because I've never been diagnosed with anything along the lines of that, like any type of divergence, anything, whatever. But, and yes, I use the word normal, but not in a negative way, because, this is like the help thing, or he's like, no, that wasn't me doing that. But I don't consider myself, when I say that, I say like normal, that's not a negative thing. I'm saying neurotypical. Typical means normal. Normal is typical. Normal is anything that isn't abnormal, right? And so if I were to test high enough to like be positive or whatever for ADHD, that would be an abnormality. So for me to not have ADHD technically does make me normal. And that sounds negative. Say, I had a conversation with my therapist about it, and she was like, how do you feel about the word normal? And I was like, I took psychology. I know what I'm talking about. It's not a negative word, because autism is an abnormality. So if I don't have it in the autism spectrum, I'm on like the normal end, not the abnormal end, which would be like high levels of like functioning or non-functioning, like maybe, or nonverbal, like autism, like that, whatever. But anyway, I was saying that I consider myself normal, but I was also like, I would love to just like try an Adderall, because isn't Adderall the one that makes people like focus crazy? But it's weird, because sometimes I will do that thing that people say where they're like hyper focus. I do that sometimes. whether it's because I have ADHD or not. I think it's just like a normal human thing. I just feel like because testing is also very weird, it's hard to tell, because it's like, for example, this is what I'm thinking, and this might even be an autistic trait. I don't know, and I also don't care, but I've seen people post like, oh, I took the autism test and this was one of the things that they were looking for, blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I was like, if I took that test, I would know that that's what they're looking for. Do you see what I'm saying? Sorry. If I were to be given like an open-ended question, is that the right term, where you can just kind of answer whatever you want? I would, in my head, if I know for a fact, and I feel like this is a bias, right? If I know for a fact that I'm being tested for autism, in my head, I would use my own prior knowledge, and I'd be like, if I answer this way, actually, if I answer this way, then they might think that I have autism, because that seems like something an autistic person would answer. Or vice versa. I'd be like, maybe I should say this instead, because I do want them to think I'm autistic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, for me, I feel like I would get in my own head and I'd be like, I know why you're asking me this question, because if I said yes, you'd say I'm autistic. No, like, and like that alone might be an autistic trait. I don't know. But I see people posting all these different things that are like, and be like, yeah, I'm autistic, and I don't like when people don't say exactly what they mean. And it's like, yeah, nobody does. So, and no, that's not me trying to be like, oh, I'm autistic too, but I'm not trying to say it. No, nobody like enjoys the fact that people speak in riddles sometimes. It just happens. And then I see people comment like, oh, when people use these certain like terms and words and phrases when they're explaining something to me, I don't understand it. And it's like, that's just because nobody ever told you what it meant. When I was younger, I like vividly remember this. I was like recording a video on my grandma's phone, and she said something. I was like 8 years old in this video, and she referred to our car as like something to get us from point A to point B. And I remember, while I'm still recording myself, asking her what that meant. And I remember her telling me like, it just means getting from one place to another. So if I were to never have asked that question, and I go the rest of my life and I'm like 25 and someone says, yeah, it got me from point A to point B, so it's fine, and I didn't understand that, they might say, oh, you're autistic because you don't understand what this popular phrase means. It's like, no, it's just nobody ever told me what it meant. That's how anything works, right? Like when people say, don't look a gifted horse in the mouth, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. But does it make me autistic to not understand that? No, I don't think it does. I just think that nobody's ever explained that to me, right? So like, I know the term, like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like I remember learning like metaphors, similes, and idioms in elementary school. So it's like, I understand when you say, oh, you're as soft as a baby's butt. I know how similes work. They use like or as to compare different things. I know how metaphors work. They compare things without using like or as. And I know, I don't really get idioms. I don't remember them too well. Don't look a gifted horse in the mouth might be an idiom. I'm not sure. But I know like to say, I know what it means to say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But typically people will say like, oh, if you don't understand that, it's because you have autism and your brain can't process. And it's like, I don't think that that's how that works. I'm sorry. And no, I'm not an expert. I'm literally the dumbest person alive, but I don't think that that makes sense, because in order for you to understand anything, someone has to tell you, right? So if you're 4 years old and you don't know what 10 times 10 is, that's not because you're stupid. It's not because you have ADHD. It's not because you're autistic. It's because you haven't learned it yet. There's so much to learn and you can't learn everything. So of course you're not going to understand everything. Duh. So I don't know. I see all this discourse about like, oh, and it'll be like for the neuro divergent people, what's like a trait that you thought everybody had, but you recently learned that like only people with your specific neurodivergence, like, or neurodivergency, I don't know, people with your specific learning disability or whatever you want to call it, only they do it. And it's like the most basic thing that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I don't like odd numbers. I don't like odd numbers. I really don't. I will put my radio like volume on an even number. Everything for me has to be an even number. But I don't think that's an OCD thing. I think it's just a preference. Like, why does it have to be OCD? And like, why do I need to be put on medication because I just like the number 12? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that there's just so much to that I just can't subscribe to. Like, I'm so sorry. Y'all should subscribe to my YouTube channel, though. Subscribe to me, but like, I guess I just don't understand it. But like I said, let's say, even if the reason that somebody doesn't like being touched is because they're autistic, whether I know that or not doesn't change the fact that they don't like being touched. So why even label it? Why make up that thing of like, oh, the reason I don't like being touched is because I'm autistic? If somebody were to come up to me and say that, I'd be like, I don't even care. I just won't touch you, because whether you're autistic or not, again, doesn't take away from the fact that you don't like being touched. Not everybody does. Right? It doesn't matter if that's the reason. In my opinion, I don't think that it matters. Right? Like, I don't know. And I guess that's just because I try not to like have like any sort of like stigma around anything. Like, if someone comes up to me and says that, I obviously try not to like think differently of them, because I know that would be like really bad. And I guess that's probably part of the reason why I don't want to be labeled as anything, because then I feel like people would look at me different and be like, oh, you have ADHD. That explains it. What? And I also hate that whole thing of like the concept of like, this would happen a lot in school, where it would be like someone who's typically kind of out there, sporadic, loud, talkative, they would be on medication and they would be like super calm and stoic, and they wouldn't even speak. Hello. No, I'm good. Anyway, I would be like in class with them, and all of a sudden they're like super quiet and they're not talking anymore. And it's like, that's because they're on medication that's like essentially turning them into a zombie. And then the next day they'd come in and they're back to their sort of normal self, where they're more talkative and sporadic and like all over the place. And then the teachers or students would be like, did you take your meds today? If that happened to me, I feel as though I've talked about this before. Maybe I have. I don't know about any YouTube video. I'm not sure. But if that ever happened, that's why I'm kind of glad that I went through elementary, middle, and high school without being on like any medication for anything. Is because if that ever happened to me, I would feel so negative about myself. If I forgot to take my medicine one day and I finally felt like I could be myself instead of the shell of a human who's like unable to even open my mouth because this medicine is making me feel like a literal walking zombie, and then I forget to take it one day and I feel like my normal self, and someone said that to me in such a negative way too, like it would be like, you need to take your medicine, that's why you're acting crazy, you're crazy without your medicine, you're a bad person, you're bad, you're gonna be punished. Like, who are you? I would feel so bad about myself if that ever happened. So I just don't like it. I don't. I understand that sometimes, especially when it comes to children, there is this whole like lack of ability to like change or essentially like fix them, because it's like children, anyone really has to have like manageable behavior, especially when you're a kid. Like, you have to learn that you can't always be bouncing off the walls. But I think that it gets to a point where people a lot of times will, instead of trying to like treat them maybe a little differently and like maybe work on their behavior, and they'll just be real quick to like medicate. Medicine. You need drugs, because putting you on drugs that are going to make you conk out in 10 minutes and not wake up for 12 hours is easier than dealing with your sporadic behavior, because I'm too impatient to deal with it. And it's like, I just feel as though the lack of resource of it all is kind of, I guess, what I'm thinking. So I don't know. Maybe I'm tweaking bad, but whatever. That rant was like a bit much. I talked about a lot of things. Talked about Wicked, talked about eating disorders, talked about like being neurotypical. Like, I don't know. But there is a slight part of me that is, even though I said all of that, it would be kind of interesting to be tested just to see, you know? But I guess I feel as though there's a split between, I want to be tested just to see if I have anything, just to know what it feels like, want to know what it looks like, to sort of explain my behavior. But at the same time, I don't want to know because I feel like I would look at myself differently. And then if anyone else ever found out that I have these things, they would look at me differently. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm just going to continue to call myself neurotypical. Whether I am or not, doesn't matter. Because even if I called myself neurodivergent, it wouldn't matter. I could literally lie and say, yeah, I was actually diagnosed with ADHD. What would that change? What would it change? Nothing. I'd still be same old me. Like, you know what I mean? It's very weird. That was me. Me after drinking Dr. Pepper. I'm not even done with it. Was that crazy? I'm sorry. Dr. Pepper reveal. Okay. I need to go put my clothes in the dryer because they went off probably 30 minutes ago. And I'm going to MEPS tomorrow. Who's excited? I have my gym bag packed like low-key kind of full. But whatever. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. I'm scared kind of. I have to pee too. Okay, whatever. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.